Let's go ahead and get started with today's news. Lawmakers and civil rights organizations are pushing back against offensive comments President Trump made about immigrants from Haiti, El Salvador, and countries in Africa. The remarks came during an Oval Office meeting with lawmakers trying to forge an immigration deal. The White House didn't deny the president's words, but framed the language in reference to the president, quote, fighting for the American people. And hope is dimming in the search for survivors of the California mudslides. At least 17 people, all from Montecito, are dead, and more than 40 are still unaccounted for. Many beaches in Santa Barbara County are closed to swimmers because of contamination from the floodwater. A man is behind bars as police investigate a murder in Sheridan, Wyoming. 33-year-old Christopher Labai was taken into custody after the victim was found dead late Wednesday night. It all began when a man called police just after 11 p.m. to report his friend knocked on the door and said he shot someone at their apartment complex. Police responded to the scene at 1410 North Main Street and found the victim dead. The victim's name, along with the motive, have not been released. Labai is being held at the Sheridan County Jail, where he faces one count of first-degree murder. An arrest is also made in the murder of a Belgrade woman. Lauren DeWise was found dead in her home this past Sunday. Police believe Lauren's estranged husband, 46-year-old Joseph DeWise, shot and killed her on the day they agreed to meet and talk about filing for divorce. Lauren had moved away from their home in Bozeman and relocated to Belgrade. Investigators matched boot prints left at the scene along with ammunition that was found in Joseph's home. He was arrested without incident on Thursday afternoon and is being held on $1 million bond. Right now, he faces one charge of deliberate homicide, but authorities plan to charge him with more. Joseph is also accused of shooting and critically injuring Lauren's roommate. His first court appearance is set for later this morning. A Yellowstone County jury finds a man guilty of raping an 8-year-old girl. After 3 days of testimony, the jury delivered its verdict for 22-year-old Tristan Morales. Prosecutors say after the rape took place last year, Morales researched the statute for rape in Montana. Based on his findings, he claimed the rape took place 5 years ago when he was 17 and the victim was 3, but the jury and prosecutors didn't buy it. The case does fit the requirements of Jessica's law, which mandates a 100-year sentence because the victim was under the age of 12. A sentencing date for Morales has yet to be set. In Hardin, the Bighorn County attorney says his office plans to crack down on women who use drugs or alcohol while pregnant. County Attorney Jay Harris says this new approach is an effort to protect innocent unborn children victimized by their mother's substance abuse. According to the Centers for Disease Control, Montana has one of the highest rates of alcohol use among pregnant women in the region. As part of the new policy, Bighorn County prosecutors will seek a restraining order on any pregnant female suspected of abusing drugs or alcohol to block access to the substance. If the expectant mother violates the order, prosecutors will file an incarceration order. The ACLU calls it a public health issue and not a criminal matter and plans on some sort of intervention against the policy. On to election news. The first day of candidate filing for the 2018 elections in Montana got off to a lively start on Thursday at the Capitol. 4 of the 5 Democrats who want to challenge Republican Congressman Greg Gianforte paid their $1,740 filing fee at the Capitol, including former state Senator Linda Moss of Billings, Billings Attorney John Heenan, former Land Trust Director Grant Keir of Missoula, and former State Representative Kathleen Williams of Bozeman. Gianforte plans to file later in hopes of winning a second term. 2 of the Republicans hoping to challenge Senator John Tester also filed on Thursday. State Senator and orthopedic surgeon Al Olszewski of Kalispell and Troy Downing, a high-tech entrepreneur and businessman from Big Sky. The final deadline for candidates to file in Montana is March 12th. Elsewhere, Billings Logan International Airport comes in second again on the runway for the 5th year in a row. Billings is ranked the second busiest Montana airport behind Bozeman's Yellowstone International Airport. Total passengers in and out of Billings Logan International Airport for 2017 was almost 854,000. That's down from more than the 865,000 in 2016. Kevin Plone, the city's director of aviation and transit, says those numbers match match a slightly down economy in the region. But recent meetings with airlines show they want to do business in Billings.
They all, like Billings. They like a very consistent market that they'd like to see growth, but they'll take very consistent over the declining numbers. Billings is not going to go backwards. I just don't see it happening. Our airport's very healthy. We're doing very well. We'll be around for a long time. The locals don't have to worry about losing any air service.
And Plone says Billings is ready to expand the concourse, which will allow for more flights. And our last story on this Friday, while the extreme cold has many of us trying to avoid the outdoors, students at Boulder Elementary have been itching for a chance to head outside. Q2's Samantha Harrelson shows us what a slight warm-up means for the kids.
With the rush to get outside, you would have thought school was out for summer, except for the fact the high just 2 degrees above zero.
They're enjoying, they're playing, they're having fun, they're running around, they're screaming. And when they're not able to do that, everything just gets bottled up inside of them. And, in the classroom, it becomes a challenge sometimes.
School District 2 policy states kids are not allowed outside for recess or any other activities if the temperature is below zero. The morning's outdoor activities at Boulder Elementary were canceled, but students erupted in cheers when Principal Jerry Hurd announced this afternoon warm-up.
So I was in my office making the announcement about kids being able to have afternoon recess, and the second grade hallway just went wild with cheers and screams. So they're pretty excited. And, we have great families here where the kids are dressed properly with boots, snow pants, hats, and mittens. So let's get them outside and enjoy the fresh air.
Samantha Harrelson, MTN News, Billings.
Samantha tells us Principal Hurd bases that 0-degree threshold not off of actual temperature, but what it feels like outside, taking wind chill into account. And for students who may not have the right outdoor gear, the school keeps bins of mittens, hats, and snow jackets. Ed, I just love the mindset of kids. They don't care that it's cold outside. Well, us adults whine that we have to brush off our car and get it warmed up in the morning. The kids are like, let's go outside. It's so much fun. So it makes me happy to see happy kids.
Oh, I was just going to tell everybody that they have to brush off their car and let it warm up this morning.
Always have to be the Eeyore. A perfect example of this, I was walking with my daughter outside and there was some ice and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to slip. And she started slipping and she was laughing so hard. She thought it was the funniest thing. And I'm like panicking because I don't want her to slip. So it shows the innocent mind of a child and how much fun it can be when winter rolls around.
We'll try and have a good attitude about this today.
All right, let's try.
Okay?